Hello, I've been tasked with teaching you how to use Onshape. So, once you've gotten to this page, come up here to this blue button where it says Create, click Document, title the document Air Track Bumper, and create. Now once you've gotten this screen, for simplicity's sake, you're going to come over here and turn off the front and right plane so that you don't see them, so that you only see the top plane. Now come over here to this top right corner with this little cube, and with this you can click wherever is highlighted in blue and it'll give you that view. So you want to click so that you are viewing the top plane. So now to start drawing this thing, you should probably see a model before you view this video, so hopefully you have seen that now. But to start drawing, come here to Sketch, and it prompts you here in this blue section to select a sketch plane. So you click on the top plane, and that sets up your first sketch. So the first thing that you're going to want to draw for this is probably the rectangle at the, I guess what we're calling the base. So to do that, you're gonna come over here to this rectangle drawer and this little down arrow. Click the down arrow and you have different options for kinds of rectangles you can draw. And the kind that you're going to want to draw is the center point rectangle. Now this dot here is the origin, and it's a great starting place and keeps everything nice and neat if you use it. Now to place the center, you do want to just click here, but if you did want to go off to the side, you can see this little dotted yellow line, and that keeps it horizontally in line with the origin. And you can also go vertically in line with the origin. But right now we're just wanting to center it right on the origin. So we're going to be using millimeters. Let me make sure that we are using millimeters, these three bars right here. Document properties, workspace units. And we are in fact in the millimeter. Okay, now we can continue. So I come to the sketch, right click, edit. And that's how I get back into editing the sketch. So I come over here to center point rectangle, select the origin, and I can click at any point. Now whichever one is in the white box, whichever dimension is in the white box is the one that you're going to be editing when you click nothing but just type in the number. And this bottom proportion wants to be 10 millimeters, just 1 centimeter. And then now this is highlighted in the white box. And this we are wanting to be, give me 1 second, this we want to be 12 millimeters. Okay. Now we have this bottom rectangle, and now we're going to make our center line reference. This will make sure everything is nice and symmetrical. What we're going to do is we're going to click here on the line, sketch implement, and on the construction. So this makes the line dotted. Okay, and you can Control Z to undo anything. All right, click the line, click the construction, and to line things up, we can come here to the midpoint of this line, which will highlight in yellow box. And then just draw it up to some arbitrary length, 75, 80, roughly to the edge of the top thing is fine. Now you can see that the line wants to continue drawing, and to cancel that you can just deselect the line, drawing implement. And then you can deselect construction, and now you're in normal, I guess, operating mode. Now, the next thing that is the logical thing to do is to make a center point circle to make the hole through the center of our this rectangle. And this will start from the origin. Just click on the origin. You can drag it out, and this hole is 4 millimeters in diameter. So we're going to click at some arbitrary length and just type in 4. So that makes that little circle through the base rectangle. Now, the next thing we should do is draw the stem and the hole that is through the stem. So we're going to have a line, and we are going to draw this line vertically at some arbitrary point along here. We will set that dimension in a little bit. And this full line, give me 1 second to measure it. Okay, so this line is going to be, because of the way I measured it, 30 minus 12. Now this will show a pretty cool thing you can do with this as far as the dimensions are concerned. I'm going to go to this dimension tool right here. This is where the fun happens. You can set the dimension to 30 minus 12, and it makes it the right length. Now, I also measured that the stem width is 5.3 millimeters wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the dimension tool, and I'm going to select from here to the center line is going to be 5.3 divided by 2, because it's halfway to the center line. And that sets it there, distance from the center line, and now you have your stem width. Now I'm just going to close the shape. I don't know why that tangent thing happens. Wish I could turn it off, but anyway, you come over here to the line and you just close the shape to the center line, and you deselect the line implement. And now what I've done is I've only created half of the stem. So what I'm going to do is create the arm that comes off to the side here, and then I'm going to use a mirror tool. What that's going to do is basically cut the amount of work I have to do in half. So now I'm going to create the arms that go off each side. So I'm going to click here on the center line at some arbitrary point, and I'm going to end it at some arbitrary point. I'm going to define it all in Dimension tool. From this point, center line is taking precedence. This length here is 30 millimeters. And this distance here is also 30 millimeters. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is use the offset tool right here. It kind of looks like a piano. And I'm going to click on this line, reverse the direction, and then click at some arbitrary point. And now I'm going to define the distance, which is 4 millimeters. Okay. Now I'm going to deselect the offset tool. Use the dimension to set the angle of this line, which I have measured at 45 degrees. And I'm going to close the shape. with another line. Now I'm going to, trust me when I say this is necessary, take this line and drag it across that line. That closes the shape. Closing the shape is usually the hardest part of making these kinds of things. Okay, now we have basically half of it complete and this base part. So now I'm going to use the mirror tool right here next to the offset tool, and it prompts you to select a mirror line. So I'm going to do that, and that's going to be the center line. Okay, now it prompts to select entities to be mirrored, and I want this to be this line, this end line, and that line. You don't need this top line, but that also can be mirrored. And now you see the basic shape falling in to place. To make it look a little bit more pretty, we can make this line coincident. You can see that little sideways T it kind of looks like. That means the lines will touch each other. And now the whole shape is closed, and now we should probably make the hole through the center. And to do that, take the center point circle, and we're going to put it 19 millimeters from the bottom. Okay, I'm going to select an arbitrary point along the center line, and this is going to be 4 millimeters as well. And then we're going to use the dimension tool. From the center of the circle to the base is going to be 19. And now we're going to make a concentric circle to give some width on the edges. And this is going to be 2.5 millimeters bigger than the inside circle. So we're going to go, once it loads a little bit, 4 plus 2.5. And when the computer finally decides to load, we will be done with sketch 1. Okay. So we're done with sketch 1 now. Oh, I did mess up though. Let's see. So I need to edit sketch 1, and because this needs to be 2.5 bigger on each side. So this will be 4 plus 5. And when that decides to load, I will show you the next step. Looks like it's not going to load. Okay. In that case, I will show you how to extrude all of this. To do that, right next to where it says sketch, there's this little box getting bigger, it looks like. And this is the extrude tool. Click on that, and it prompts you to select faces and sketches regions to extrude. So as you can see, it highlights each area as my mouse goes over it, and I'm going to click on every single one, except for where the holes are. Okay, so now the width of all of these is 15 millimeters. So we're going to select this 25 millimeters and make that 15, and then confirm the extrude. Now we're going to create these holes that allow it to be screwed to the air track. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go to the sketch. We're going to select this face and press the letter N on the keyboard. And that will make the view normal to what you are seeing or what you are working on. We're going to take the line tool and the construction, go to the midpoint, and go out 15 millimeters. Now we're going to go to the circle tool, and from that point we're going to make a hole that is not construction, that is 4 millimeters. We're going to confirm the sketch. Now we're going to the other leg, and we're going to do another sketch the same way, which you take the line tool and the construction tool, go from the midpoint out 15 units, and then from that point have a circle that is not construction, and that also is 4 millimeters. Now, to punch through a hole, you're going to use the same tool, the extrude tool, to select that face, and you're going to remove instead of add. And it doesn't really matter how far out this goes. So now we're going to confirm that extrude, go to the next extrude, and select that little circle, click on remove instead of add, and confirm. Now that looks pretty good, and it can work like this, but we should pretty it up a little bit. So we're going to use the fillet tool, and that's right here with this little square with a rounded edge, and we're going to use it to make all of the edges rounded, and you just, once it turns yellow, you can click on it, and any edges you want to be rounded can be. 2 millimeters looks about right. It can be anything smaller than 2 millimeters up to 2 millimeters. You have a little bit of a problem when this edge gets to that edge any further than that, and the program really doesn't like it. Okay, that's enough for the fillet, but we can also make it look a little bit more like the original by chamfering these edges. And the chamfer tool is right next to the fillet tool, and this makes a flat cutout, kind of, as you can see here. You just click on the yellow line when it highlights, and it cuts back. And there you go. The computer didn't completely allow me to make this thicker. For some reason it wasn't loading properly, but that shouldn't be a problem for you. Another way we could have done that is to use the offset tool. Let me see if that will work. I'm going to delete this circle. I'm going to try again. Instead of using the center the circle, I'm going to use the offset. Click on this, and then to confirm that I want this circle to be offset, click. And now I'm going to put in 2.5. Oh, I guess that worked. All right. So I'm going to confirm that sketch, and there we go. This is the part that will help the air track bumpers work. And there you are.